What if Eve was not a symbol of temptation, but a symbol of self-awareness, identity, and becoming? Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to take you through the full process, meaning and essence behind this portrait titled as The Modern Eve, created using graphite pencils and colored pencils. This artwork explores identity, especially modern African identity rooted in origin, self-awareness, and personal truths I'll be sharing. So here I'll be sharing why I chose this subject, why the portrait is in black and white, why the background should be colored, and my step-by-step drawing process, and the deeper symbolism behind elements that you see. It's not just a portrait, it's a visual narrative. The idea of Eve is often misunderstood. Traditionally, she is associated with blame, temptation, or the fall. But in this work, Eve represents identity before judgment. This is modern Eve, a woman before labels, before shame, and before the imposed narratives. Her eyes are closed not because she is unaware, but because she is looking inward. And this piece asks, who are we when no one is watching, and who are we before the society names us? That question became the emotional foundation of this particular portrait. Now, for this artwork, I used graphite pencils for the portrait, which I'm going to show you later, and the colored pencils for the background and symbolic elements. The color for the background, which represents the environment, experience, and memory and the influence. And this contrast is central to my style, where identity exists quietly while the world around is expressively layered. Now, starting with the background, I intentionally started with the background, not the face. This is symbolic. Environment shapes us before we fully know ourselves. Identity emerges within the context. Using colored pencils, I build the background gradually, layer by layer, soft pressure and blend transitions. The greens, the teals, and the warm oranges form a fruitful garden referencing abundance, origin, and growth. The garden itself representing the origin, fertility, growth, becoming. It is lush, alive, and layered, just like lived experiences. The fruits, which symbolize knowledge, abundance, and choices, they are present but not dominating. Eve is not reaching for them. She knows. The flowers and the butterfly, they symbolize femininity and life cycles. The butterfly fully represents transformation. Identity is not static, but it evolves. Then for the portrait itself, I use graphite pencils, which removes distractions. It strips the figure down to form, light, shadow, truth. The portrait represents identity as essence, timeless and unchanging, eternal. Now, as I began this portrait, I began with the half of the face, starting with the closed eyes. Closed eyes represent introspection, inner knowing, and self-connections, also self-awareness. I focused on gentle graphite layering, soft blending, controlled highlights. At this stage, I wasn't chasing realism, I was building essence. Next, I came to cheeks, the nose, the gradual form development, which I worked slowly, allowing graphite to build depth, creating smooth tonal transitions and to maintain the softness. This realism is not just about the sharp lines, but it's about a control restraint. Matching the values, maintaining symmetry without full stiffness, preserving an emotional calm. That was about just the facial balance and how I put the eyes the way they appear to be. And before touching the lips and the body, I polished the face very cleanly, refining the shadows and softening edges, also adjusting the highlights. This step was crucial and the realism believable. And as you notice, the lips were done and the last one using a golden tone. The gold here symbolizes voice, value, inner worth. Even in silence, her presence speaks. This one few moments where color touches the identity intentionally and sparingly. The shoulder and the hands resting gently on the body. This gesture represents self-possession, gentleness, and ownership of self. The graphite was layered slowly, especially around the fingers and the knuckles, to maintain the anatomical realism without harshness. And within step by steps, the features started coming out very clearly and blended using the tissue paper and the blending stumps. All these came in step by step, and for the record, this is a practice that I've done for a long time. So the tools that are needed are right here on the screen as you keep watching. So it's a layer by layer, and majorly for the darkest areas, the darkest pencil I used was the 12B, and from 6B to 12B. So 12B was the darkest. So as I built it layer by layer, and also countering the scenes behind the realism and the textural appearance, whether smooth or rough, and had to take care of all of them, and also countering the values inside it. Now, when I came to the final element, which is hair, I completed this artwork with that hair. And hair is sometimes hard, especially the African hair, or just any hair. It has to come out as realistic as possible. The natural hair here is not just authentic, it is cultural identity, authenticity, and unfiltered and an altered self. The texture was built using directional strokes, layered graphite, minimal blending to preserve realism. Ending with the hair felt right, identity fully formed. Also highlighting the details in the hair using electric eraser, using also the tissue to blend in the parts that were not very clearly seen. So all this process takes time to achieve such kind of reality, and also putting the patches of darkness that were not initially very dark as the picture itself was. So this is unfiltered self of the modern Eve, and it really represents a deeper version of Eve that can be perceived in the today's world. So my style here majorly explores the realism without harshness and identity without noise, also emotion without exaggeration. It's about who are we beneath the layers. Yeah, so this piece is the foundational work in that direction. And just the final reflection, modern Eve is not about sin. She is not about temptation. She is about awareness, identity, and self-recognition, unfiltered self. She does not need permission to exist. She simply is. Thank you very much for watching. If this artwork resonated with you in any way, please make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more art process and meaning. Art is not just what we see, it is what we understand.